2 decades have passed since the dusty roads of Iraq and Afghanistan were haunted by improvised explosive devices. Today, the U.S. military is facing a new nightmare. This time, the threat is no longer hidden underground. It is in the sky. Small, cheap, but incredibly difficult to counter, unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, deployed increasingly by Iran and its affiliated forces. Relentless UAV attacks, carried out with high frequency and growing sophistication, are forcing Washington to rethink its entire approach to warfare in the Middle East. A harsh reality is becoming clear. Expensive military superiority no longer guarantees safety when low-cost systems can inflict significant damage, drain resources, and overwhelm defense networks. The Pentagon is running out of time. A U.S. official revealed to Reuters that the military is urgently deploying a large amphibious assault ship, along with thousands of Marines and sailors, to reinforce its presence in the Middle East, where tensions with Iran continue to escalate. Yet, even within Washington, major questions remain. Another official admitted that no final decision has been made on whether the full amphibious ready group will be deployed, or only part of the force. This uncertainty reflects just how complex the situation has become. Every move must balance deterrence with the risk of uncontrolled escalation. Originally, these forces were scheduled for deployment in the Indo-Pacific, but rising tensions have redirected them toward the Middle East. The exact timeline, route, and mission objectives remain unclear, a sign that Washington itself is still adjusting its strategy in real time. At the same time, another force, Marine Expeditionary Unit 31, combined with the USS Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group, is also heading toward the region. According to CNN, the USS Tripoli was spotted near Singapore earlier this week, indicating that reinforcements are moving continuously. A typical Marine Expeditionary Unit includes around 2,200 personnel, but when combined with an amphibious strike group, that number can rise to approximately 4,500. This is not just a combat force. It is a complete operational system, integrating air power, logistics, and support elements, capable of rapid deployment across multiple scenarios. Its strength lies in speed, amphibious warfare capability, and multidimensional firepower coordination, making it a spearhead in emergency intervention missions. These forces are often known by a fierce nickname, Devil Dogs. The name traces back to the Battle of Belleau Wood in 1918 during World War I, where U.S. Marines launched direct assaults against heavily fortified German positions. Despite suffering heavy casualties, they held their ground and secured victory. German soldiers reportedly referred to them with a term expressing both fear and respect, giving rise to the legendary nickname. Over time, Devil Dogs has become more than just a nickname. It represents discipline, resilience, and a willingness to take on the toughest missions. Structurally, the U.S. Marine Corps is a unique branch under the Department of the Navy, yet it maintains an independent command system. These forces are often known by a fierce nickname, Devil Dogs. The name traces back to the Battle of Belleau Wood in 1918 during World War I, where U.S. Marines launched direct assaults against heavily fortified German positions. Despite suffering heavy casualties, they held their ground and secured victory. German soldiers reportedly referred to them with a term expressing both fear and respect, giving rise to the legendary nickname. Over time, Devil Dogs has become more than just a nickname. It represents discipline, resilience, and a willingness to take on the toughest missions. Structurally, the U.S. Marine Corps is a unique branch under the Department of the Navy, yet it maintains an independent command system. It works closely with the Navy for transport and logistics, while preserving the ability to operate independently on both land and sea. Its history dates back to 1775, when it was established during the American War of Independence. From its earliest days, it participated in amphibious operations, including the assault on New Providence Island in 1776 under Samuel Nicholas. After a brief disbandment, it was re-established in 1798 and quickly became an essential component of U.S. military operations. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, Marines were involved in conflicts ranging from anti-piracy missions in North Africa to large-scale wars, as well as diplomatic military operations such as assisting Commodore Matthew Perry in opening Japan in 1854. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, Marine Expeditionary Forces are designed to operate independently for up to 60 days without major reinforcements. In the current context, the deployment of these forces to the Middle East has sparked speculation about possible next steps. As tensions continue to escalate, President Donald Trump has expressed frustration with allies who refuse to participate in efforts to reopen the strait while the conflict is ongoing. This has forced Washington to rely increasingly on its own military capabilities. Meanwhile, the director of the International Energy Agency, Fatih Birol, stated in an interview with the Financial Times that fully restoring oil and gas flows could take up to 6 months, a time frame long enough to trigger deep global economic consequences and make every military calculation more sensitive than ever. From the explosive-laden roads of the past to skies now filled with drones, the U.S. military is adapting to a new form of warfare, where low cost creates maximum pressure. And in this game, every deployment decision could trigger consequences far beyond the battlefield. The Pentagon's proposal to allocate an additional $200 billion for the war in Iran has already faced fierce opposition in Congress. Early estimates suggest this could become the most expensive conflict for the United States since Iraq and Afghanistan. Officials revealed that in just the first 6 days of fighting, the war has already cost over $11 billion. Public opinion polls also show limited support. Only about a quarter of Americans back the war. Despite record defense spending approved earlier, including an $840 billion budget for fiscal year 2026, lawmakers are now questioning why more funding is needed. Critics argue that while social programs and public services are being cut, taxpayers are being asked to fund another costly war. And as living costs continue to rise, partly driven by the conflict itself, the pressure on Washington is only growing stronger.
Even more dangerous is not just the weapons being used, but the way the battlefield itself is changing. This is no longer a war defined by tanks, aircraft carriers, or overwhelming firepower. It is becoming a war of asymmetry, where speed, adaptability, and cost efficiency matter more than raw strength. Iran understands this shift. Instead of confronting the United States head-on, it is choosing to stretch the battlefield across multiple dimensions: airspace, energy infrastructure, and critical shipping routes. Each drone launched is not just an attack, it is a message, a signal that even the most advanced defense systems can be tested and potentially overwhelmed. Because in this kind of conflict, the goal is not necessarily to win quickly, but to make the cost of winning unbearable.